Okay, hello everyone. We are back and we are in our last continent of our two-part world tour that I have had a ton of fun in. I hope you have too. I was really excited to get to this part of the course, but I really want you to know where all of this fun fits in, right? So let's go over real quick where we've been. There's three pillars in Sizzle Kids. The first pillar is food, all about food, what it is, what it isn't, where it comes from. It comes from plants and animals. The second pillar is all about nutrition. It's how that food works in your body. We'll get to that in pillar two. And in pillar three is taking all this and cooking with it, making some of these dishes that we see here. But for now, we're in pillar one and we're learning all about what food is and what it isn't. And I want you to be excited about food. And I want you to understand why certain foods are abundant in certain areas of the world. And I want you to know what your friends are eating all over the world. Food really does bring people together. And there's such an abundance of flavors and cultures and cuisines and everything that we can really use food to bring the world together and have a lot of fun with it and learn all about our world through food. So remember, we talked all about food comes from plants and animals. Seasons are important. Geography is important. Terrain is important. Water is important. Um, Plant staples are important. Protein staples, dairy staples. All of these things come together to give us a really good view of the world and what kinds of foods are plentiful in certain areas of the world. So we've gone through all of our continents. Let's go to our map real quick. Have your mom or dad or whoever you're watching with, or you can look at a map and find your North America over here on the left hand side. Go south for your South America. Go across the sign that says "Food brings people together" to the orange parts, which are your European countries. Go south to the green and purple parts, which are your African countries. Go up a little bit diagonally to the right to the multicolored large landmass, and that's your Asia that we just went over in the last lesson. And now jump south to the island continent that's green and yellow. That is Australia. And Australia is very special because it is a country continent. So it's a continent, but it only has one country in it. It has Australia. Now, there's different areas of Australia, kind of like in Canada, there's different provinces. The same thing happens in Australia, but in terms of countries, it's a country continent. The whole thing is one country. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go over there and we are going to look at Australia and what a kid living in Australia might eat in a day. Or if we had a magic airplane that could get us all over the country in one day, what we might encounter all over. So, here, like I mentioned, like in Canada, there's different provinces. In Australia, there's 16 territories. So, it's one country, 16 different territories. We'll go over all the different, we'll go over many different things about Australia and their different territories later in the courses. But here we're just going to go over one day, what one day might look like in Australia. So I had to bring you Vegemite again for breakfast because it's so unique to Australia. You will not find Vegemite as a staple the way that you do in Australia in any other continent or any other country of the world. It's like very Australian, very traditional Australian. Again, it's the yeast that you find at the bottom of the beer barrels. They make beer in big barrels. Some of the yeast sediment settles to the bottom. They scrape it up, put it in a jar. It's salty. They spread it on bread. Sometimes they'll add avocado or something or some other um, condiments to make it to give it more flavor. But yeah, bread with Vegemite smeared on it is a typical breakfast in Australia. Very common. For lunch, we're having a classic Australian meat pie. Now, this reminds us of the empanadas we had in South America. It's not handheld like the empanadas are, but it's the same idea. It has a dough crust and is filled with meat and veggies, a kind of minced meat and veggies in a sauce, maybe onions, mushrooms, sometimes some cheeses in there. The crust is flaky, it's buttery, it's like a little pot pie if you're familiar with pot pies in America, in the United States. So a little meat pie we might have for lunch. Now, dinner in Australia, if you can picture the sun setting over the outback, the kangaroos settling in for the night, the koalas climbing up in their eucalyptus trees and hugging the tree and going to sleep. Um, a barbecue. Barbecue is huge in Australia. You'll find everything on the barbecue. The weather is usually pretty nice in Australia. It doesn't get very cold there. You're going to find lots of barbecuing happening at dinner time. So you might find beef on the barbecue. You might find lamb, chicken, seafood, vegetables. Barbecuing is a way of life in Australia. So that's what we're having for dinner in our world tour to Australia. For a snack, this is a very fun snack. It looks like a hot dog that you would find in America, but there they put it on a piece of bread instead of specially designed processed buns. They just slap it on a piece of bread. It looks like a hot dog. It's a sausage, and it's called a snag, which I thought was cute name. Cute name, a snag. It's like a hot dog on a piece of bread. So that might be a snack that you grab in the afternoon between lunch and dinner. And then again, I had to show you another picture of a Pavlova dessert. Again, like Vegemite, it's very traditional Australian. When you see a Pavlova cake, you know that's an Australian type of thing. And again, it goes back to the ballerina named Anna Pavlova from Russia, who toured around Australia and New Zealand in the 1920s, so 100 years ago. And they were so impressed with her that they created this dessert and they named it after her. It's very light, very airy, very beautiful, kind of what you would think about with a ballerina. Now, like I was telling you before, New Zealand and Australia playfully argue about who created this dessert, and we don't really know, depending on who you talk to. But it's definitely Australia, New Zealand, down there in that region. And this is a very typical dessert you may see down there. A pavlova, which is a meringue cake. Meringue is whipped egg whites to make a really light and fluffy, sweet dessert, and then topped with some berries, usually strawberries and blueberries. Here you have some raspberries on it, really any fruit that you like. So that's a typical day of eating in Australia. That's what your friends might be having down under. Um, Filled with unique traditions and flavors and a really fun place to visit. I honeymooned in Australia and I absolutely love the country continent and all the people in it and all the food too. So it's been fun with this world tour. I've had a great time. I hope you have too. This is actually the last lesson of this whole entire course in Pillar One about what food is and what food isn't, and where food comes from, and how we use food, and how we use staples to create all of our different cuisines all over the world. And yeah, I hope you've had a great time. And there'll be more courses coming down the line. The next pillar will teach you how to take all this information that you have about what food is and know how it works in your body when you eat it. So it's going to be all about nutrition, all about protein and carbohydrates and fats, and it's going to be all about vitamins and minerals and all the things that you can use food for to make excuse me, to make you healthy. So I'm excited to get into Pillar Two with you guys. The next course that's coming out is going to be a short course all about labeling. In Pillar One, I think it's very important for you to know what all of the labels mean. A lot of our beautiful foods and our beautiful staples, our plant, protein, and dairy staples, have been processed to the point where they're not healthy and they're not good for you at all. And you can start to decipher what is going on with all of your food and your packaged food and your processed foods by reading the labels. So I'm going to teach you all about that, how to read the labels, what all these different words mean. Some of them are kind of tricky, but we're going to do that in the next little mini course. So check that out. If you took the quizzes, the country quizzes, and you won, you got them right, and you won your discounts for other courses, be sure to put those in when you get one of the other courses, and you'll get the discount for those. Okay. I've loved hanging out with you guys. I hope that you've had a really good time here in Pillar One with Sizzle Kids, and I hope you stick with us and come and learn about nutrition and your body, and then learn how to cook with all this stuff. All right, guys. Mwah. I'll see you later.